Alright guys, welcome back. This is Really Is D. Today we're going to be breaking down the fungus type Kaiju number 9. Right. This thing that keep flimsing everywhere is volume 1 of monster number 8. I ordered it from CDJ Japan. Don't forget to read monster number 8 on Viz Media, either the phone app or Manga Plus app. Alright guys, what I want to do is describe monster number 9 as a infiltrator, because basically this Kaiju likes to show up only when he's needed to. So when something messes up or something goes awry, he comes to fix it. And basically, he did this once with Shinomaya, another with Reno. Checks the news in the bathroom after the entire fight with Shinomaya, and he sent that monster out to kill her and alongside other people. And to add into the fact, he joined this disposable crew just to check after the messes on the defensive troop base. Only fought the other two people because of mishaps that didn't work out in his first initial plan. And since these monsters were captured, it looks like over a year ago, who knows how long this plan has been in the works. Not even counting the fact that in Monster 25, we have the pterosaur type Kaiju that showed up. And he immediately is commencing a raid on the base. But in a way, I wonder if him and Kaiju number 9 have communication because of how he's committing the raid. He shows up, landed, immediately asks who's the strongest to fight them, right? So I'm sure a part of him was hoping that he'd run into Kafka because he was the strongest. But shows up, landed, gets into a fight with Hoshina. That's still happening at this time. I wonder if they communicate. Alright guys, so in chapter 12, when you see a large fungus type monster standing over the city, I cannot imagine looking up and seeing a monster. Anyways, see a large monster type Kaiju standing over the city, and you can still see the markings right under what looks like eyes of the fungus type beast. You can just see the spectral markings going around that ring above the teeth around its head, alongside some on the shoulders and arms in different parts of different monsters, but you see it throughout the whole city fight, right? So what's going on now is that after Ashiro destroys the fucking thing and you get monsters everywhere, because Kafka took apart one of the monsters that was killed by him because he was trying to really take advantage of his own skills, especially used to being part of the disposable crew. This man found the proliferative organ and found where the core is, so he informed both of them back to Hoshina. Hoshina tells him, great job. Some other girl passes it on to the rest of the team, but most importantly, because this happened, they 1, know how to kill the monster, and 2, know how to stop the after beast. So now number 9 comes out again. Like, what's the problem? Who's fucking up my game? So now we have number 9, of course, on the battlefield, looking through the monsters like, oh, okay, so the political organ's destroyed. Someone knows a little too much about monsters. Of course, he didn't bring up the core because they're obviously going to find that after shooting. And now, from that point on, we learn that 1, he implanted the proliferative organs. 2, he has a finger pistol shot he can do in human form. Instead of like this, it's like this. Because most anime do finger shots like this. Happy he changed that up a little bit. So his finger shots is like this with this down a little bit. But what's going on is it's like a whole bunch of flab. It looks like the material of monster skin comes back, or it enlarges, comes back, shoots out, right? So it's like, I don't really know what it's called, and he didn't name it, so we're gonna name it a fungus pistol. So the fungus pistol is what he shoots Iharu right above the heart with, so he shoots him in the collarbone, and he's like, my aim is worse in human form, so he can't aim in human form. Lesson learned, you fight this man, hopefully you get him in human form. Next to that, we also get to see that he wants to go ahead and retreat because what he started is no longer happening. So he wants to go ahead and get out of there since they know where the reproductive organs are. and they already know where the core is, there's no real reason for him to stay there, right? So he's like, I'm gonna go ahead and retreat. But one of you bitches, Iharu, Reno, he doesn't say their name obviously, but one of you is coming with me. They were scared as fuck. So what he does is he starts fighting both of them. So he starts shooting the pistol at them, but because Reno was already informed on really how the attack works in a way by Shinomiya, he has some better luck dodging it, as he then explains to Iharu later on how to dodge it, which makes number 9 think that he's not shooting right, but then he changed up his battle tactics completely. So now we're going to go ahead and get into his attacks. Alright, moving into Kaiju number 9's attacks and defenses. To start off, we have the fact that he can make 9 more arms, or up to 9 more arms. Then he can regenerate. So he can literally have 9 more arms. So he has 3 up top, 3 on each side coming out, of course. We have the regeneration that also Kafka has. So I'm pretty sure all kaiju can regenerate. Maybe it's just what comes with the territory. His radio silence / communication disabling ability. Looks like it cuts off connection to radios because you can still hear person-to-person interactions, right? Also, to add on to the radio silence ability, it is more of a space that he created, and basically any living things cannot exit that space unless he allows it. Then we have his fungus pistol / finger pistol. Basically, it's what I described earlier, that comes back and shoots forward. However, alongside that, we have his multi-shot version of that fungus pistol, which is where he can shoot from multiple fingers at the same time. So they all, you know what I mean? So all that can happen. Then you have the Fungus Blast, is what we're going to call it. It's basically when, instead of his fingers blowing up, what's going to happen is his whole hand and our fist is going to all bubble up to shoot a bigger blast at his opponent, right? And that can also happen for all 9 arms he has. So if he does all 9 at the same time, you'll see all of them get shot. Now you can tell it's 9 by 1 in the picture, and 2 counting the amount of bubbles that Kafka blocks in his defense, where he like stands still, guards up. Yep, that was nasty. Oh, he just blocks it. You know what I mean? So that helps out a lot. For defense, he had a wall of corpses where he can, and he literally grabs whatever fungus type monsters is laying on the ground, and he can pull them in front of him. So I'm sure he can pull them other places. But that's also a big deal, as that means he can literally control the bodies of them without them even being alive any longer. Unless he's regenerating them from afar to bring them over. But I'm pretty sure he's just grab the fungus type bodies. You know what I mean? Which is pretty cool, in complete honesty. Wonder if we're going to see that from Kaiju number 10. Who knows? But yeah, so that's on his attacks and defenses. We also did not really get exact information on if Reno's dulling bullets affected him. It did get hinted by the fact that he was missing Reno, but Reno was also understanding his point of, I want to say, aim and dodging from there. So it's hard to understand if the dulling bullets really affected him, but Iharu's electric bullets 100% affected him, to the point where he swatted them away. In the fight versus Kafka, you can see that the dulling bullets that Reno shot to him earlier actually had a lot of effect, because that's what slowed down his regeneration. Don't know how I didn't notice the first time, but that's what slowed down his regeneration, and a big reason why Kafka was able to overpower him so easily, because his whole fight against Kafka was basically on the defense. Once he noticed that his shell was hard, he shot him with his little fungus pistol, and it didn't completely kill him like everyone else. He's like, oh, you have a hard shell, blah, blah, blah. He pulled out all 9 arms, did his powerful shot, and Kafka did his defensive screech that I mentioned earlier. However, once Kafka punched him in the ribs and basically destroyed his whole body, his regeneration was extremely slow, and that was because of the shot earlier by Reno. And that's how we could see a good shot of the core because it couldn't regenerate fast enough. Another thing I want to mention is that even though his head was knocked off, he could still see from that head until he regrew a new head on his other body. So I believe there's something to do with the spine in this show, a little bit like Attack on Titan, seeing as the core was attached to it. So as long as the core is attached, the body can still regenerate from that piece. Assuming. Alright, lastly, guys, what I really want to dive into is Kaiju No.9's use, honestly. So, what I mean by that is his personality. My man has decided that, one, when he's in a fight with two people, he'll quickly go ahead and start trying to take out the person who's being the most annoying. He mainly was concentrated on himself and what he had going on. And whenever things interrupted that, it's really when to get to see the other part of his personality that was the portion that was like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and be the front man of the fighting. Like, you interrupted what I was trying to complete. All right, I had to put my daughter to bed. I passed out too, obviously. So, a big thing about Kaiju No.1 is that you can obviously tell he liked to work alone almost all the time. He did not really like to involve other kaiju, or I think he did. Second, the fact that he knew there was kaiju more than No.8, so he knew 1 through 7 means we'll get a lot more to see after that. And he probably knew who we're going to mark as kaiju No.10. We just don't know. I'm pretty sure they communicate in some way because, what is it? A few chapters after Kaiju No.9 gets away, gets a new identity because the first one was found out, right? So his first identity, I believe, was Takamichi. And now this second identity, we do not know yet. So he gets a new identity after he was found out because it was an angry road rage driver. He deserved it. And now he's gone, right? So that's why I'm calling him Infiltrator. He comes in, did what he had to do, and gets away. Although he almost died to Kafka, he would have died if people didn't interrupt the fight. He got away enough to come back stronger, I'm sure. But yeah, that was my breakdown on Kaiju No.9, everything that I believe happened with him. Yeah, just leave some comments, likes, let me know what you think. Let me know what you thought.